It's Hot 937, hot937.com. Hartford's #1 for hip-hop and R&B. This is the Beat of CT. I'm Erica Lynn, and today I have three fabulous ladies on the show with me. Kisha Zulo, she's the founder of Women in Business Summit and president of Events of Joy. Joelle Murchison is the CEO and founder of EMG, a diversity, equity, and inclusion consulting firm. And Orlena Cowan-Bailey is Chief Elevation Officer of HR Zoom and HR Swag Shop. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us. We're so excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you to talk about Women and Business Summit. This is the 19th Women and Business Summit. So first of all, congratulations. That's a long time. 19.
I know. I was the baby.
Yes, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, it was great. It started because I had before I was a full-time entrepreneur, I worked for someone else, and my male coworker, we were leaving work at the end of the day on a Friday, and he mentioned his salary, and it was significantly more than mine. And throughout my career, I was raised to, you do the hard work, you will get the promotion, and that's not how it was. A rude awakening when I started to work,
right,
after graduating. And so he shared his salary, and at that time I was thinking about starting my own business, and then just the idea of having my own business, and then this problem that presented itself of I cannot be the only one who has that salary difference, and maybe other women have questions about their career that I've had all along with no really place to turn to get those answers. Mm-hmm. So I thought about it over the weekend, and as I'm driving into Hartford on my way to work, I said, you know what, I'm going to do this event in Women's History Month. I'm going to gather these women, and we're going to share our stories, and it's going to help them be better personally and professionally in their career. So that's how it got started, and here we are.
That's
amazing.
19
years later.
Just the fact that notion of the glass ceiling is a real thing.
Right.
And it's like, well, why is he making more than me, and I do just as much, if not more,
right,
than him for this company or for this business?
Yeah. And up until that point, I hadn't paid attention to any of that. I just said, I'm going to do the work, and, I'll get the pay and the
right, and your work will speak for itself, exactly. You hope, right?
That is not true. I mean, it wasn't true for me. It was one incident in a list of many that had me question, well, maybe there's something that I'm missing. So I didn't know what was missing, so I wanted to get together with women who had attained a level of success that I had aspired to be, to ask them questions, and then I thought, let's all get together and talk about it. So that was our first one, and we had it on a Sunday at the Marriott Hartford downtown. Survey came back, said don't mess with our church days. So no more Sundays. Saturday for a very long time, and now we've been running it on Fridays. So yeah, very exciting.
Well, Kisha is so humble though, because when I think back to those days, and I wasn't around. I don't know that I was at the first one, but pretty shortly thereafter.
I was gonna say.
And Kisha, there's an effect. There's a Kisha effect. The average person doesn't say, I see barriers in the way, let me start something, right? There's something really unique about that quality. And I remember when you were working for one of the employers that you were working for, and there was just something about you, very authentic, very genuine, such that when you said women in business, it really wasn't a far thought to say this is something I want to support. So everywhere that I've been, literally every employer that I've been with, I have made sure that we provide opportunities for women to be at Women in Business. But I don't want you, and you're so humble to discount that the average person doesn't have what it takes to just make that decision.
Right.
When there's a barrier to just bust through it and say, I'm going to start my own. And so kudos to you for 19 years.
Because
yes.
I got it from my mama.
Yes, Mama Joy. She's amazing. She's amazing. And she's been there every year, too.
Yes, you go around through something to find that solution. So it was natural.
And Events of Joy is named after your mom?
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
My sister named my event planning company, so I plan for nonprofit organizations and corporate clients their events. So busy executives who don't want to deal with the details,
right?
Call
Seriously,
Events of Joy. So yeah.
It's interesting how you kind of flipped your expertise, right? To
Yes.
serve those corporations and, power, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right? In those
right.
events. Yeah.
That's right.
So instead of working for them, well, like for the company, you are hired by them, right? Where they pay you the big bucks
Exactly.
to plan their events.
So I thank for the many years that I worked for someone else, I thank them because I trained and I, got the skills that I needed to get the confidence to step out on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So this is happening, we said Friday, September 13th.
Yes.
And location is
MGM Springfield.
what time is the
8
conference?
to 4:30, and you can go to wibsummit.com for all of the details. But we have a full day plan. Orlena is one of our speakers.
Yay.
And I'm super excited for her to share her expertise in helping those who want to navigate their career. So can you share?
Yes, Miss Orlena, what are you going to be talking about?
Yeah, so I am excited to be talking about the power of the pivot and the purse and how women can maximize their careers in the advancement and elevation. And as Kisha talked about, inequities when it comes to pay and women being paid in a manner that's unfair or not equitable. So really helping women and empowering them to see how they can really advance in the workplace and really be bold and courageous. A lot of times in the workplace we apologize or we're scared to ask for a raise, and sometimes we are too humble. So I'm actually
second guessing ourselves.
Yes.
Exactly.
Imposter syndrome is real, right?
Yes.
So I'll actually be talking about how we can embrace audacity in a more humble way with
Yeah.
grace, but I think sometimes that is needed, especially in corporate. So in my experience, working in human resources and working with different senior leaders and executives and coaching them on different complex workplace matters, I've seen behind those corporate walls some of those inequities that, as a woman, it hasn't always been fair. And I, again, want to help people to navigate the complexities, and kind of have like the behind the scenes pro tips of how to deal with it.
Awesome. I'm super excited because we have a combination of, I would say 50% of our audience are entrepreneurs who work for themselves, and the other 50% work for someone else but may have entrepreneurial ideas that, after they
Right.
retired.
Or aspirations. And-
right. And so they come and all network together. So I'm excited that Orlena is going to present this because we attract both those type of women to the conference, and I know they're going to learn a lot from your workshop. So thank you so much for saying yes.
Yes. And I would also like to know, I call myself a hybridpreneur, so I kind of made that term up.
Me too. I might start using that myself.
Yeah, so my entrepreneurial spirit comes out in my HR Zoom and HR Swag Shop, but I've also, as I mentioned, worked for other organizations. So it really gives me, I think, a unique perspective to really tap into the entrepreneurial struggles that we have,
Right.
but also on the workforce side, some of those unique struggles too.
So I know you have a list of speakers. Are there various workshops that are going on simultaneously, or are they at separate times so that everyone is hearing all of the women speak?
So you'll have a chance to attend 3 workshops throughout the day if you want to, because we do have a wellness lounge that if you don't want to go to your workshop.
Oh
let me
my
not
goodness,
say
I like that.
You need to go learn. Go to your classes. But yes, so we have 3 different sessions. We run them concurrently. Is that how you, thank you so much for the vocab check. And basically we talk about your brand marketing. We talk about finance. Ramona is going to talk about the financial roadmap, and she's a fractional CFO, so she helps businesses establish, healthy money practices, because cash flow is one of those things that we saw from the survey before when our attendees sign up is an issue. So I love that we have a workshop on financial
Right.
roadmap. We're going to talk about artificial intelligence. Our keynote speaker is from MathWorks, which is they do software development. She is a physicist and a aero somebody smart person.
That's perfect.
Maria, don't
because
kill me. Maria's
This is
gonna be
the
like,
way of the
"We
world."
just talked about this. But what she's going to share is how you can incorporate AI into your business and help just demystify some of the...
it's important. It's
right.
becoming part of everyday life. We just keep hearing AI.
Yes, so she's going to talk about that in a very interactive workshop and close out the conference. So many. so many things.
You know, I think the workshops are critically important, but even to the point about the Wellness Lounge,
Yes.
sometimes just even being present with all of these dynamic, amazing women is what we need, right? Sometimes you just need that moment, particularly nowadays. So many of us that are entrepreneurs spend a lot of time alone. Right? If you're a solopreneur, then you are working, you're on Zoom. You might engage with a client in person here or there, but the majority of the time you spend is alone.
Right.
And so to be able to learn and even just to watch, observe,
And
listen,
feed off of
literally
the
feed off
other
of all the
women.
energy, get ideas, and maybe even step away for a moment and write. You know, usually one of the sponsors provides a notebook. So you've got a notebook that you can step away, and even the particular setting. I think we had great weather last year, so I'm praying that we have the same weather to go out on the patio and even just write. I had the opportunity to do some videos talking about some different topics related to DEI while we were at the summit, just because it really gave the backdrop for really inspiring some of that conversation. So I think for women who are coming, if you're thinking about coming, or maybe you've already got your registration, you're not sure what the day is going to look like, it can be exactly what you want it to be. But you will come and you will find what you need to be able to grow, maybe even just to pause, or if it's that moment that you need to kick it into drive to get your business to the next level, you'll find it.
And just network
Yep.
and
Absolutely.
reflect.
Absolutely.
Just to be in a room or a building with so many dynamic women.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The lineup is really, it's always been crazy and amazing, and I love it. Everybody who comes to speak at WIB, I love all the speakers. And one of, we have Chris Ward Jr. from New Jersey. I don't know if you guys have met him. He's a storytelling entrepreneur. And the thing that I love about Chris is his ability to have you share your story in a way that's memorable. We've all been to networking events, and what do you do? What do you do? How do you comfortably and confidently express yourself about what you do in a unique way that has someone remembering.
Right, leaving that lasting impression,
that lasting
right?
impression. And he's so great at that. So he's going to be teaching that and helping the folks in his session do that. Orlena's going to talk about your advancement, and then we have Nikki, a panel of folks from Nikki from Amazon. She is the global director, fancy titles. I'm going to mess all of them up.
I know there's so many. I can't even believe that you remember them all.
Texas. I could reference my paper, but I don't feel like it. So
I love it.
It's really, really cool to see how these amazing people are going to come together and just help. Kristen Ziegler is coming to talk about how you're going to hire your first person. What do you do to prepare for your first hire? That's really, really cool. And then, all the others on personal branding and marketing your business and where to
and
start.
that panel, of course, I would be remiss if I did not mention that my favorite PR professional, my little sister, Tiffany Joy Murchison, is moderating the panel.
And she's
that
our
you were
MC
just
this
referencing.
year.
She's the MC. So she's really excited about that. And I think last year her workshop, folks were inspired and ready to learn more. So she'll be able to. So I introduced her to Kisha too.
Yes, and
See that?
It's when you have people who are kind and know their stuff. That's who I want to attract. People who they're so focused on, and so what's my word? They're expert at what they do. Is what I'm trying to say.
Subject matter experts.
Subject matter experts, and they're great people. And Tiffany is so much fun to be around, and I'm excited that she's going to be the person who kicks off our day and keeps it moving.
And Joelle, speaking of being humble, you were a speaker last year
She was the
at the WIB Summit. Oh, the keynote speaker. Excuse me.
Yes, that was the year that the theme was manifest.
Yes.
And I still have people come up to me and talk about, because it's one of those things where I've done a lot of speaking, and I always like to have a manuscript, right? But I never follow it. I have something, we had a confidence monitor, I had a PowerPoint slide, to kind of help me follow along, but then I just kind of start and I just went off. So when people will say oh my gosh, it was so inspiring, you really caused me to really stop and think about, and you had on this shirt, and then I changed shirts. I had on a shirt that said, I'm my ancestors' wildest dreams.
Yes.
And then halfway through the day, I changed my shirt to manifest abundance because that was our theme. And really just the whole notion of really putting into play the things that you want, the things that you believe, the things that, you know, if you are a person of faith, that you believe that God has already ordained for you, but you just have to step into that space. And so really just thinking about the power of that, the people who've gone on, the people you've met and interacted with, and what they've deposited in you that allowed you to kind of move to that next level. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
She over here preaching right now. You hear
I hear it. Listen, and I'm taking it all in. Like, yes.
And I have to say, yes, I was there. I was at her VIP table, but I was so inspired as well. So Joelle and I go way back. I've known her for most of my life, going back to my Weaver High School days for all of those who are from Hartford and or from Weaver. And even though I've known her that long, I'm always so inspired and moved to the point where I was like in tears. So that was definitely one of my favorite, no bias, but you know, maybe a little bit favorite keynotes. And I think it really speaks to the energy and vibe, you know, at the Women in Business Summit. And we just had a content creation day, right, a couple of Fridays ago. And the women, they all shared their stories about, oh, my first WIB summit, or my first time, or who I made a connection with, and someone just kind of randomly talked about Joelle's keynote as well, and how the manifesting really resonated with her. And that was something that still 2 years later, right, has a lasting effect. And I think that, it really speaks to the energy and the connections. Like, you never know who you're going to meet in that room.
I can imagine.
You leave that room, and we did have great weather last year, and you'll leave that room and you'll feel inspired, you'll feel motivated, you'll feel connected. You may have an aha moment, right? So I know that was the experience for me, and why I keep going back to WIB. And now I'm happy to be a speaker. So that
look at how that
amazing.
happened.
Yes, and I think one of the speakers that's on this list as well is Shawneel. And she spoke about specifically, like, you know, attending WIB years back, and I think it was during the year when Joelle was keynote, and how she said, I manifested speaking at this event.
And I didn't know that until Content Creation Day.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Yeah, we were talking, and I've been watching, because people ask me, well, how can I speak at WIB all the time? And it's a combination of things. If you want to speak, go out and speak, but you have to have the experience. You know, I want to make sure that you are comfortable in front of the audience, because my goal is for the attendees to leave with knowledge that they've picked up from you, and you've practiced, and you've already, you know what you're doing. So Shawneel, I was watching her do her thing, watching her speak all the time. And, you know, I knew she came to WIB, so we've met. And so it was a no-brainer for me to ask her to speak. And it wasn't until Content Creation Day 2 weeks ago where she shared that, I've wanted to speak at WIB, but she, didn't reach out to me, but I reached out to her because of what watching what she was doing, with her business and the tremendous growth that she has had.
Yeah.
So.
And seeing that manifestation that Joelle talked about come
right.
to reality.
This is all
thank
full
you,
circle.
Joelle, for being a guiding light. I know to me for most of my life, but
yes.
obviously others, you touch so many, so.
Absolutely.
I love it. And the theme is breaking barriers.
Yes.
So what made you come up with that theme for this year's Women in Business Summit?
Because I think of how hard it can be sometimes to have a goal and not see it come to fruition right away and to stick with something. I mean, WIB Summit is going on 19 years, and there are plenty of times when I've been like, oh, this is hard. Because entrepreneurship is hard. But I've chosen this hard. Working for someone else is hard.
It's hard. So choose your hard, right?
Choose your hard. And that's not I've heard a lot of people say that. You choose your hard. So breaking barriers for me was about breaking through whatever that is, whether it's imposter syndrome, or you have someone who's with a spouse or significant other who doesn't believe in your dreams, or you don't know where you're going to get the funding, or you have you pick the challenge.
Right.
You've been through a divorce, you've had loss in your life. All of those things are barriers that you have to break through. So that's why I picked that theme. And then, charting new ground, because I wanted to do new things and different things with WIB Summit this year. And so I'm breaking my own belief barriers in what's possible for this conference, and really wanting it to be a regional conference, and breaking my own,
and it will be.
That's right. That's where we're headed. And I'm very, very excited about it. I feel like I've just scratched the surface. then it's so nice that we're in this type of environment because I see another barrier that's going to be broken by women, and I'm very excited about it.
I don't know if you forecasted that or not, Kisha, but when you came up with the theme, but it's so timely. Yes.
Yeah.
I love everything about it, and even the wellness lounge that you spoke about to just relax. What is that all about? What can people expect from the wellness lounge?
So I've created on purpose introvert-friendly spaces, and that's a word given to me by Chris Ward Jr., one of our speakers, because I am an introvert and I give out a lot of energy, but sometimes I want to just step away and have a space. So in the lounge is that space where you can step away, still network. You'll have express massages, complimentary express massages in that space. And then we also have adjacent to the lounge, you'll have the opportunity to get complimentary headshots because headshots are expensive
and important.
So you have the opportunity when you register to sign up for your complimentary headshot. So I just wanted to, and I know for next year for our 20th, build on that opportunity to create a space where you are experiencing a wellness lounge. The conference is going on, but it's there if you want to step aside. Tiffany Chapman is our contributing sponsor for the headshot. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
And then I want to shout out the sponsors. It's a good time to do that.
I know. I was going to say that. The sponsors, I know there's exhibitors.
So Joelle and her company, EMG, is going to be sponsoring. So listen to me taking over your role. Tell us.
Erica, she just broke the barriers.
I know. There you go. Broke the barriers.
Well, I think we've already talked about, and I think it's probably clear why I'm a sponsor. Yes. I mean, I have been involved in WIB in one way or another for probably at least the last 14, 15 years.
Wow.
When I was in corporate America, and my company had the opportunity to host the Women in Business Summit for a number of years. Yes. When I left there and went to another organization, I've always been intentional about making sure, particularly that my the women who work for me or with me had an opportunity to come to the summit, to begin to reimagine or think about themselves in different ways, not just in the way that we saw ourselves in those roles, but more broadly. And so then, I broke through a barrier and became an entrepreneur, which I never, ever wanted to do. And so WIB, it's funny because as I think back, I'm like, wow, WIB has been here all along through this whole time where I was like in corporate and higher ed and climbing the ladder, so to speak. And I thought that that's what I was going to do. And now here I am as an entrepreneur. And so all of those resources, all the people, all the inspiration, everything is literally right there. So how could I not? And I said to Kisha, cash flow's a little slow this year. This is a different year. Folks are backpedaling on DEI, but I'm still going to be a sponsor because I think it's really important that we use this space as a space to encourage and empower women to do whatever it is that they want to do. And so to the extent that that helps someone get here who might not have been able to afford to get here or to see or experience something that they had not in the past, that's why EMG is here and will continue to be here as a sponsor.
Okay.
And that is incredible. You got to make me cry over here that she is just pouring back into
the other sponsors got to step up, though. So that's the call to action right there.
Right.
And I think the other piece that Joelle just spoke to is making sure that you invite your teams to attend. Like, I think it's a great opportunity to develop your teams, empower your teams. So being mindful as a leader that this is, a great opportunity for your team to be there.
And I'll just say one other thing to that. I think sometimes we think that sending people to these big national conferences is the way to do it, right? And you use your small professional development dollars and you've exhausted it, right, in that one conference. When there's a conference right in your backyard, perhaps, and you could send, the person doesn't have the travel or the struggle of, I'll have to be away from family or figuring out all of those things. And they're here and they still get the same level, if not a higher level of engagement, of professionalism poured into them in this conference. So I really do think it's a very viable opportunity for particularly our local regional, whether Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, individuals to come to the conference.
Agreed. I love that people travel in for the conference because I know that economic impact that you have when you think about your dollars when you travel somewhere. And it's wonderful that they're able to spend it in our area and everyone associated with the event, all of the event professionals benefit, and our speakers benefit from coming together for the conference. So thank you for your kind words and your support over the years. Like, I can't even look at her too long.
I see. This is amazing.
I appreciate it so much, the loyalty and commitment, and that's why I'm so committed to make it better and better and beneficial to everyone who attends and is a part of our conference. So I do want to thank the other sponsors, Travelers, Liberty Bank, Greenfield Savings Bank.
Good company.
Yeah, very good companies. And then, MGM and Latin Financial, which, oh my gosh, Sonia, listen, we love Sonia. She's incredible.
She's breaking barriers.
She is right
all the time.
See, the theme is coming back around.
Yes.
Every time you mention someone's name, that breaking barriers comes
Absolutely.
back to mind.
Because she's an entrepreneur who started her business later in life, and is just killing it right now. I really appreciate her support over the years, because I think this is her 3rd or 4th year sponsoring the summit. And then we're giving away overnight and $250 gift certificate to Chandler's at MGM because they're a contributing sponsor.
Yes.
And Glow, which is a spa in Western Mass, is giving away gift certificates. And then I'm giving away a ticket to our UK conference. So,
Yes, let's talk about that UK conference.
Right, you just breezed over that.
Right.
Hold on. Take it back. Bring it back.
So yeah, breaking barriers. We're doing it, and we're going to Brighton, England, May 13th and 14th. Registration will open in September, right after WIB Summit here, and then it's on to plan the 20th. So onward and upward.
Yes.
Going to England. So taking a regional conference to
Processes.
the UK.
Because you never know where your opportunity is.
That's right.
What if that person, that big contract, is not in Connecticut?
Right.
What
Right.
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 Or what
That's
if you
right.
go to England, meet someone from Connecticut in England, and then you get the big? You never know.
You never
So,
know.
Yeah, we're doing it.
I love it.
Awesome.
Just keep glowing and growing. Seriously.
Yes.
And I mean, where else can you get a conference, right, where you might win an overnight stay to MGM,
Right.
a gift
Give
card
me a
to a
spa.
fancy restaurant, you get a free headshot,
Right.
you get to be inspired,
Right.
you get to meet all these lovely women, including us here. It's just, all-inclusive
And then we
empowerment.
I was
And
going
then
to say,
dance.
do the
Oh,
wobble.
there's
I don't know how to
dancing
do
and
the
the-
wobble.
Yes,
Cute
we'll be-
boogie.
Oh,
Yeah.
I am queen of line dances.
yes.
That cute boogie, that's my girl. Love
yes.
her.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I saw you having book signing too from speakers.
Yes. So we have Tiffany, who's gonna her book. She's a PR maven, so she's gonna have both her books there for a book signing. And then Ramona is also doing. She's the one leading the workshop on financial roadmap.
Yep.
So her book is also gonna be there to be signed.
That's
And
just
then the
good.
exhibitors, I didn't even mention.
Right.
Expressions by the Mitchells, they will be there. Think in Paris, Liberty Bank.
Bank.
And many more will be there as exhibitors, so that you'll get to have access to resources to support your business, but also some shopping, which is really fun.
Yes.
That's always fun. Yes.
It's a lot, right?
It is, but all very necessary.
Yes.
And I can just imagine the amount of fun and how full everyone's cup will be
Yes.
when they leave the Women in Business Summit.
Yes.
How can people go about registering or getting a ticket to attend?
Yes, so tickets, if you're thinking about it, just go ahead and go to wibsummit.com because registration is closing in a couple of weeks. So wibsummit.com. Follow us on Instagram. You'll be updated there, or you can sign up for our newsletter, connect with all our speakers, and our sponsors, and you'll see information on the Women in Business Summit. But I'm really excited to see you in the place on September 13th.
The place to be, MGM Springfield.
MGM Springfield, just up the road.
Yes.
Connecticut, you had me for 17 years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but funny enough, majority of our attendees are from Connecticut, so Western Mass has some catching up to do.
The challenge is on.
That's right.
Yeah.
So your social media is WIB Summit as well, so everything
On
across the
IG,
board,
that's
Instagram,
it.
okay.
And then Facebook, it's Women in Business Summit. But
All right. Perfect. Thank you, ladies, so much. You guys are so bright. You just shine these really bright lights, and it's contagious, seriously, from the moment that I met you out in the lobby to in here. And I'm just so proud and thrilled. I have to make it to Women in Business Summit.
yes.
myself.
Yes, absolutely.
We'd love to see you there. Thank you, Erica, for this opportunity. This was
Thank you,
awesome.
Erica.
You're so welcome. So we got Kisha Zulo, Joelle Murchison, Orlena Cowan Bailey. Thank you, ladies, so much for all you do. And I just can't wait to see what else you have coming up on the horizon. It has already blown my mind, but I will be in tune and in touch. You know my contact info. We can always use this platform to highlight whatever else you have going on.
Thank you.
See you on September 13th.
Yes, mark your calendars, everybody. Friday, September 13th, the Women in Business Summit. Thank you all for listening. I'm Erica Lynn. This is the Beat of CT, and it's Hot 937.